to our Zoom call. The way it's going to work is Danielle is going to give us a presentation, and if you have questions at all, you can type them into the chat. You can find the chat function. You click on the little dots up at the top, and then it'll say chat, and you can put it in there, and then we'll answer those before we get off the phone. I don't think I've met, is it Sarah? Is that your, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't met Sarah. And the other person who's joining us today, Classic, Clark. Just saying hey. I'm Jordan. I started the Alliance before this whole pandemic thing happened and it kind of exploded. I've been a hairdresser for 8 years now. I rent my own studio, and I just realized that there are a lot of things out there that can help folks. And sometimes hairdressers focus, or any licensed professional, whatever you may be, sometimes they focus the most on their craft and not necessarily things out there that are available to help us, or important stuff like health insurance, disability leave, paid time off. And right now, what's really pertinent for us is unemployment and these SBA loans. And so that's what we've been talking a lot about. So I thought it would be really great to ask people who know a lot about that to talk to us for a second. So Abby is joining us from the Heartland Workers Center, and Danielle Padilla is from Lending Link. I'm gonna let Abby introduce herself first, and then Danielle will introduce himself second and get started. Again, if you have any questions, Sarah, just type it into the little chat box.
Yeah, so my name is Abby Kretz. I am the lead organizer of the Heartland Workers Center. We're a nonprofit organization. We've been around for about 11 years now. Our main office is in South Omaha, but we've been around, or we now have offices in North O, Nebraska City, Schuyler, Columbus, Grand Island, along with doing organizing in Fremont and West O, Sarpy County area. So really trying to expand that. Our main goal is to find, train, and develop leaders. So people who are impacted by issues to learn more about how to tell their story. And in doing that, how that's powerful, specifically looking at ways that people can be engaged in public life, whether it be through voting or advocacy work. And then also working to promote workers' rights, and for all of that, it's a lot about training and providing information and education. And so as I talked to Jordan and Chevy last week, it was really about just trying to get more information out there for a lot of you all as licensed professionals, because you're very much, I really liked what Jordan said yesterday about craftsmen. And so it's also about learning the other side too, one, so that you're respected as employees, if that's where you are, or also learning how to run the business so that you guys can do that for the long term. And so just really looking at connecting people and seeing what's missing in some of those areas too, so that we can work together to change some of those things. So excited to be here. Yeah. Could I ask something too, for those of you who are on the call? Would you maybe mind just typing if you have a business or you're an independent contractor, or yeah, kind of just how you work? Maybe that would also help Danielle frame stuff. So.
Great. Danielle, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure, my name is Daniel Padilla, and I'm representing Lending Link. This is also a nonprofit organization. We've been in existence for a little bit over a year here in South Omaha, 2410L. Our main purpose is to provide lending to individuals or micro businesses to avoid the predatory lenders and the payday lenders. We also offer financial coaching, financial education classes, and free tax preparation. My experience comes from banking. I was a banker for a little bit over 25 years here in Omaha. So after leaving the banking industry, I decided to come and open this new venture, and that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm not representing any bank, any institution. I'm just here from Lending Link, the nonprofit sector, trying to provide whatever assistance I can give to all of you.
Great, thank you so much. If Chevy, do you want to introduce yourself again at all? Our other lovely admin.
Hi, how is everybody this afternoon? My name is Chevy Kozacek. I'm actually an employee, a commissioned employee esthetician. And as far as kind of how we've been tackling the issues that are going on right now, I've been kind of heading up the unemployment situation and the direct health measures and getting information out there and staying in contact with as many politicians as I possibly can to try and, mitigate the issues that are happening. So that's me.
Thanks, Chevy. So let's toss it back to Danielle, and he's gonna start again. If you have questions, please type it into the chat. He will answer them after he is done, and we'll kind of go from there, see what happens. So please go ahead, my friend. Can you unmute him, Abby?
Okay. All right. So they asked me about the CARE Act and emergency financing situations right now. And since some of you are individual commission employees, some other are self-employed. So I thought we'll talk a little bit about both, especially in the unemployment side. I mean, you can apply for the unemployment now either way, either if you're an individual or self-employed. If you're self-employed, you're gonna need your 1040, your tax preparation, your tax forms, and your Schedule C, self-employed, because that's the way that they are gonna determine your unemployment, and also your stimulus, those $600 per week that you may or may not get. And if you're an individual, obviously you have to provide with your W-2 information. All of this is done through the website and the Nebraska unemployment site. Sometimes it's getting up to 4 and 6 weeks to start getting the payments back. But I think it's a worldwide option to do it because you finally end up getting the money that you deserve. As far as the CARES Act, the first option is what's called the PPP loan, the Payroll Protection Program. And again, you can apply as an employer or also as a self-employed person. If you're an employer, you will have to provide obviously your payroll information from your accountant. They're gonna need an application. They are gonna need some documents, your forms 940, your W-3 forms, and all of the information that pretty much your bookkeeper will have. Normally, this is done through the bank or with the bank that you have your account with. There are a few other options like PayPal or other online providers, but it's much better if you do it through your bank because they already know you. It takes about 2 days to get that approval back. And you know how it works. I mean, you can get up to 2.5 times your payroll amount, your monthly payroll amount, that will be forgiven if you use that money to cover your payroll, your rent, and your some of your utilities during the next 60 days. Or if you regain your employment levels that you have in March and you do that after June 30th. If you're a self-employee, you can also get that PPP loan. The determination is done through your Schedule C on your taxes. They go off your net income. That net income that you provide on your tax forms is divided by 12, and then you multiply that for 2.5 times, and that's the amount of the loan that you can get. Again, also it's gonna be forgivable. The interest rate on that is 1%. Payment is deferred for the first 6 months. You don't have to make a payment. And if it is forgiven, you don't have to pay anything back. Use of the funds will have to be for payroll purposes. Up to 75% has to be used for payroll and the rest for utilities or mortgage or rent. And then that's all you need to provide to the bank because they are the ones who are giving you the loan through the SBA. So basically, if you're self-employed, you have to get off your tax form, your net profit divided by 12. The feature, again, used for payroll purposes or utilities, and that'll be forgiven. You have to contact your bank this is not done directly through the SBA, it has to go through a bank. The other part of the stimulus is what's called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And that is the one that we were talking yesterday, that you can get up to $10,000. Basically, it's a loan that will give you up to $1,000 per employee. You have to have employees to do this. I mean, so you have to have at least one employee, and yourself, that'll be two. You can get up to $2,000. If you have 10 employees, you can get up to the 10,000. With this loan, you apply directly with the SBA. The application takes a little longer because the website is not as user-friendly as your banks. It takes about 3 or 4 days to get that approval. Again, there is a limit of $10,000. This money can be used for anything other than everything. I mean, it could be payroll, could be rent, could be any other expenses. The interest rate on this one is 3.75 per year. It has a 12-month deferral, and it may be forgiven in some circumstances, but the SBA has not released the actual features for this forgivable part. Again, you can get up to $10,000. You cannot get both. You can get one or the other. The other option would be with the SBA. If you want to do a regular 7A loan, that's directly with the SBA. You apply through your bank. However, the SBA has said that there's a moratorium of 30 days, so you cannot get any financing through the SBA for the next 30 days. It's a long, cumbersome process, but you can get up to any amount. What I need to warn you is that you have to pass the bank's qualifications before you get to the SBA. So it's a normal SBA process. It has a lot of features and options, but it's done through the bank. It takes much longer. So if you can, I'll encourage you to go for the PPP loan or the EIDL loan. Hopefully the PPP is a better option for you all. If any of these don't work for you, you may go through your bank and try to get traditional lending. I mean, I know as a small business owner, it's hard to get it because there are a lot of things that they check on income, debt to income, credit, etc. If that doesn't go well, I can give you an option to come to one of the community agencies like myself, instead of going to the predatory lenders. We provide loans from $200 to $5,000 for micro businesses like yours. Very flexible terms. Our interest rate is only 5% per year. There are no application fees, no monthly fees, no prepayment penalties. We don't use a debt to income ratio as low as the bank. We can allow you, per se, we can allow you to go up to 80% of your debt to income ratios. We can defer payments for 60 days. We accept monthly payments, weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, skip payments with no penalties. We report that to all of the 3 credit bureaus. And as long as you're talking to us, if you cannot make a payment, we will report you in a good status. Obviously, it takes, the only thing that you have to do is make an appointment to come and see us. We're open by appointment only. I will assume that this will take no longer than 30 minutes for you to come do the application and get your financing. We're also doing free tax preparation still for 2016, 17, and the last 4 years, basically, free of charge. So you can come here if you have any questions. If you need any help with that, you can also come to us. And after that, I'm sure nobody's thinking about doing the financial coaching or the financial education right now, but we can also set up some type of program to do this after the crisis or during the crisis, if that would be an option for or a necessity for you. So this is from very high level overview. I don't know if you have any specific questions that I can answer. I'll be more than happy to do this.
Daniel, do you want to go ahead and take a look? Sarah has a question. It says she applied for a PPP and was now just approved. I haven't accepted. Question is, once I get it, I will take myself off unemployment. But my concern is once I accept PPP, will I have the option to reapply for unemployment if this emergency pandemic goes past my 2 months of PPP? And do I still claim for the federal PUC through the July 2020 end date? So it's in the chat if you want to take a look at that too.
That's a question from who?
Sarah, do you want to, hi Sarah. She's waving, she's in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Sarah Middleton, right?
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to explain? I mean, we're not very many people here, so it's not like talking out loud is not functional right now. So
Me explain my question?
yeah. We're only a few, so I think it's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, so I was just approved. I just received the email, but they said it could take up to 2 weeks to get the loan. So I haven't accepted anything. It hasn't fallen into my account or anything like that. And so right now, as I'm navigating that, you know, I realize I'm gonna have to take myself off unemployment once I accept that and have the money. And so what I'm wondering, my business is solely aesthetics. So right now we're still closed. And I'm wondering if this goes beyond the 2 months that PPP is, you know, for, that's at least how I'm understanding it. I'm wondering if I can, you know, if it, like, let's say the pandemic goes further into July, they say estheticians still cannot perform. Am I able to get back on unemployment? I've tried to find any kind of small print on this, and I just want to double check before I accept this, if, you know, that's going to bite me in the butt later on.
No, you can also apply for unemployment after that. That would be not a problem at all. And you're doing the right thing, although there's nothing that tells you not to take take the loan and don't be off unemployment yet. I mean, I think you could do both. And then wait till these things get closer to the end of June and see what your option would be, because you can always pay that back, and it's not going to cost you anything. I mean, it's only 1%.
Yeah,
1% of that amount is basically nothing, and you don't have to make any payments. So I recommend don't get yourself off the unemployment yet.
Okay, Danielle, everything that I'm reading on the SBA PPP loan and unemployment says that once you get approved for the PPP loan, you can no longer be on unemployment.
Well, that's something that came from the SBA, but actually the local bankers are telling you, I mean, you don't have to use the money yet. I mean, if you don't want to use it, I mean, you just have to pay it back. Just use what you need, or what you have up until the end of June to do this. So you have you can wait, and then if you decide that, you can also pay the unemployment back. I mean, that's a problem.
Okay, so what you're saying then is we could let the PPP loan money sit there.
Yes.
Stay on unemployment and then pay that loan money back at the end of this if the unemployment was a better option for us?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Remember, and you have 6 months of deferment, so you don't have to pay anything until the end of the year. And remember, if it is a $10,000 loan, I don't know how much you got. It's going to be about $100 per year, so it's really nothing that you have to pay back in interest.
Okay, that's a very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm asking a question on behalf of another person. Chevy had sent this question the night before last night. Anyway, the same situation that Sarah went through, like I applied for the PPP loan first. Well, this person did. She got the PPP loan. She hasn't accepted it. And just to clarify, she was on unemployment. So she was wondering if she should not accept the PPP loan and stay on unemployment. But what we should tell her is that she has a certain amount of time to let the PPP loan just sit there while she still collects unemployment. That's pretty much what you were saying, right?
That is correct. I recommend take that PPP loan as soon as they can, because the bank only has 10 days to give you that money after approval. And I don't know if that goes back to the pool and then probably the money runs out, you won't be able to get it. Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. we got any other questions here?
Are you guys hearing any other concerns from folks regarding running business as usual or?
Okay, I do have another question. And this is for a business that is a booth rental salon. So all of their people pay booth rent, and they were also approved for the PPE. Now, everybody in this salon applied for unemployment. A lot of them have gotten nothing. And so the money that's sitting there from the PPP program is kind of necessary for them right now because they've sat for almost 6 weeks without any unemployment. What does that look like? Like if they start using the PPP loan money while they're waiting for unemployment, what does that look like?
Well, again, you had to make a determination before June 30th. I mean, what's more convenient? Because you may start getting the unemployment and also get the extra $600, which would be a much better option than using the PPP.
Okay.
So I think that's best way to go.
Okay.
You can
Thank you.
And again, you can use it. I mean, you can use it and pay it back. I mean, they won't check on that. I mean, you can mingle those funds with your actual funds. The bank is going to ask you for a determination later. I mean, did you use this money for payroll? They may ask for some verification, but I mean, that could be done easily with a tax form.
So say you want, this is just a very basic question. Say you want to apply for one of these loans. You just have to call your bank and say, I need to meet with a banker to apply for some of this aid. It's as simple as that, or do you have to like sign up on a website or?
Some banks do it on their website. What the application is, the application number is just the form 2423, and this has just personal information, business information, how much you need in the form of the loan. That's it. And there's some certification saying that you're a citizen, that you are based in the United States, that your employees are based here, etc. But it takes 2 minutes in filling that application and sending it to your bank. If you're self-employed, you're going to send that and your taxes, and that's all. That's all it needs. If you are an employer, then you will need the application. Again, is the same application. You're going to need the 940, which is your quarterly tax report, and your W-3, which is the sum of your W-2s at the end of the year.
So the next question I have is, even if I have a business that's just mine, I'm the only person who is working there, but like I have an LLC, and let's say this whole situation lasts for 6 more months and I need money. I can, as just one person, apply for this aid too, or how does that work?
Yes, the LLC is a pass-through income. Basically, the money that you make to LLC goes to your tax return, and then you have a form, but the Schedule C, that's where you detail all of your income and all of your business expenses, and you go to a net income. That net income is the one that you divide by 12, and 25 times, that's the amount of the loan that you can get.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. It could be a DBA or a sole proprietor or a LLC, because that all gets reported in your individual tax.
Is there anything that you know of, or maybe you have seen people do when applying for this aid, or any sort of conflicts that happen between unemployment and the CARES Act that like you've seen time and time again, that's like a mistake that you can say, don't do this? Or like you were saying, I would recommend that you use that loan, you use your unemployment, wait on the loan, then use the loan. Like, is there anything like in big, bold, red letters that we should do, we shouldn't do? Like any sort of advice in regards to that?
The only thing is that if you are an employer, so you are paying off your employees, I mean, you have to remember that you will have to prove that you use that money for payroll. So just keep your documents in check. If you use a bookkeeper, just have him or her keep track of it. That's the only thing. Unemployment is state. This help comes from the federal side and the bank, so there's nothing that one doesn't know what the other one's doing, basically.
Oh. Any other questions? It's good that you brought up that even if you are a like a booth renter is what we call it, that we can apply for those loans, because I assumed, since I'm dipping into the unemployment pool, that I wouldn't be able to apply for that loan. So that's a really, really good takeaway from this. I'm definitely going to let everybody in the group know that, because there are a lot of booth renters.
Sure.
They're wondering what they should be doing.
It sounds to me like there's been a lot of concern about how to kind of just get by right now with all the confusion, especially with unemployment going on. So maybe this also helps to kind of broaden some of the options that are out there and see which one is actually going to be more beneficial, at least from like my minimal understanding of the whole thing, but seeing, okay, we can apply for these and then see which one is going to work out better in the end for individuals.
Yes.
Going off of what you said, Abby, it sounds like, and this is kind of what we've been trying to tell people in the group, is like, all of this stuff is happening really quickly, and it might not all be like fast and easy right now, but applying for all of the aid and just getting yourself in the system so that your name appears wherever, you know, the unemployment man or the PPP man, when they are looking at a list of names, you're there and you have an application submitted so that you can pull from that, or you're going to get the money as quickly as you can. So would you agree that, like, even if you're like going back and forth, whether should I do unemployment, should I do one of these SBA loans, whatever, would you recommend that, like, even if you're not sure, but you're looking into both, to apply for both, and then whatever fits your situation or comes fastest is what you should do?
Yes, I recommend that, because even as I said, the interest is only 1%. So it's basically, it's could be a free money. And if you had to pay it back, there are no penalties for not using it. There are no penalties for not using that for the right thing. You can just pay it back.
So with the loan forgiveness that you kind of talked about, I'm sure people are super interested in what that all entails. Like, do you know if there's anything, like, is it just as easy as I use the PPP loan and I give it all back to my employees, or I spend it on the things that they say? Like, is it like for sure that it'll be forgiven by the government?
The bank is going to make that determination and send it to the SBA. That's it. So that's what I'm saying. They want to work with you. I mean, your bank wants to work with you because they have all the records. So they want to see, okay, did you write the checks to the employees? They can just see it and verify that you used that money for that.
So do you expect that, like, nobody will run into problems basically in getting the loan forgiven if they do what they are asking?
What they are supposed to.
So it's free money,
and
basically.
Yes, it's free money. And if you don't use it for that, you can keep it and pay the 1%, but you have to start making monthly payments after the 6 months.
You also kept bringing up the date June 30th. Can you explain what that is again?
The PPPs
for the loans
with the government trying to keep the employment levels at the same level, basically, that we had in March. So they say, okay, if you let some employees go, but if you hire them after or on June 30th, you are going to regain the same level, then that loan is going to be forgivable.
Oh, okay.
Hoping that if you have to furlough your employees now, you continue to pay them. That's the purpose. Probably you're not making money, but you are going to get a loan that's forgivable if you use that to pay your employees during this time. So that was the date.
This is such great information. I just wanted to say, hey, Ophelia, is that how, hey, so we went over there's only a few people in the call. So we went over just a few basic things. Oh, Shannon tuned in now too. Maybe more people filter in. But we went over a few basic things that we will post in the forum. But Danielle is just answering any questions. Like if you want to unmute yourself and you have a concern, we have a small enough group. You have to just, can you,
there we go.
There, yeah.
Yeah, I do have a question. I have a question. I don't know if anyone's asked it yet. I'm an esthetician, and before all of this happened, I invested in new services in my business and did that with the confidence that I would be able to pay the loans that I had to take to invest in those services. However, now with not making any income, I was wondering if you can get one of the loans and I could use that, basically transfer my other debt onto that. Of course, I don't think I'd be able to get it forgiven, but it would help me lower the monthly payments that I'm supposed to make right now. And then also, if I did that, if I could still get unemployment. I guess I'm confused, and I know a lot of my friends are confused too, if we can do multiple things, unemployment and a loan, or how that works.
Yeah, you can do both. But before, do you have those loans with local banks or finance companies or?
Yes. I have one of my loans I've had for a while, and it's a PPP, or it's an SBA loan.
Okay.
It's an SBA.
Because I've heard from at least 4 banks, they are offering 90 days payments deferred. So you don't have to pay them for 90 days. And they're also not going to charge you interest for 90 days. So that would be my best option, is going to your individual banks and ask for that option, that forbearance.
Okay.
That's,
yeah. I have a really small town bank, and I don't know if they really. I've contacted my loan officer, but she was just kind of like, yeah, just go apply for the EIDL, I think it was. And she's like, just wait to hear back from that. And that's pretty much all she says.
but you're only one person, right? So you won't be able to
Yes.
apply for the EIDL. So you only you can go through the PPP.
Okay. What's the I know the interest difference between the two, but that's really all I know.
Okay,
Well,
I think Ophelia, what you're talking about is that you bought facial equipment such as like microdermabrasion machines, things like that, and you have loan payments due on that equipment that you need to operate your business, but you're not operating business to pay that.
Yep.
Can she get the PPP loan to almost like get rid of those higher interest loans, pay it with the PPP, and then still collect unemployment?
Yes.
Yes, she
And
did,
then,
but probably would be just another payment, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, that has to do some numbers, because again, it goes off your net income on your taxes. So depending on that, is it going to be worth the problem to go and try to pay them off? Otherwise, you're just going to cover one hole with another. Because let's say if you reported, let's say $12,000 of net income last year, you can only get a PPP loan for $2,500. So would that be enough to cover one of your loans at least? Or just going to provide just another payment that you have to make?
Okay. Good to know.
Look for another option.
Okay. It depends on what you made the year prior.
Yes, it's of your net income. Going to your Schedule C, your net profit from business, divided by 12 times 2.5.
Okay.
Daniel, does it matter how she uses the money though, since it's not technically for payroll?
No, because then she's not going to be forgiven. So then she starts paying the 1%, and she has 18 months to pay this back.
It might still be a lower interest rate, I guess, than the bank maybe has.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. That really helped. Thank you.
If you have anything, please put my name or send my name and add your email or the phone number that I sent you yesterday for texts. They can call the office and I can meet individually with them and provide some assistance one-on-one. I mean, sometimes it's better to hear your case. And we could do this. I mean, and again, it's free of charge. We don't charge anything. We have that loan program too, where you can get, I mean, up to $5,000 at 5%. That's really not a lot. So you can also, we can tailor those coaching things to your needs, individual needs.
You know, Danielle, I think that this has been so helpful. And I know that there are more people in the forum that could really benefit from just like understanding like the 3 different loans.
Yes.
And also people knowing this is huge, and I'm going to share it in the forum and with your information, but knowing that you can do unemployment and apply for a loan is huge. And knowing that you can apply for a loan when you're a booth renter. I thought it wasn't available to people who were, you know, solo, but that's a huge thing that I didn't realize that we can do. So let me ask you this: do you know if there's going to be a point at which, or do you have a feeling that there's going to be a point at which we can't like dip into this pool? Like, do you think that you need to apply as soon as possible? Would it be something that, you know, is still going to be there in like a month if this is still happening? Like, do you know anything about how long the program will last, or is it like first come, first serve?
It's first come, first serve. We don't know. I mean, there are trillions of dollars, but again, last time the money ran out in 1 week. So we don't know how long this is going to last. Because like, I know one bank here locally, I mean, they did 3,500 applications last week. I mean, so that's a lot. So we don't want the money. So again, if you can get it, go ahead and get it, accept it. And if you want to pay it back, it's only 1%. So if you don't use it, pay it back. Or use it for something else.
And can I add one more thing too, just for my own personal experience? Because I'm a sole, I mean, it's just me as the employer and the employee. But I was told that, and Daniel, you can let me know if I'm wrong on this, but I was told that going to a smaller bank tends to push the PPP loan faster. And I've seen that in experience with some of my friends that have larger businesses that are still, they applied way beyond, you know, back before I did. And mine was able to go in quick. I did it through a small bank here in Omaha. So, and they're with a larger bank. So that might be something just to kind of put out there as well.
It is true, but you probably have an account with that bank already.
I don't.
No, you don't? Okay,
no.
so yeah, because some banks are asking you to open an account first and then they turn you down. I mean, I know Wells Fargo and US Bank taking forever because they are so big nationwide and it's taking a while for them to get it approved. But the others are coming really good. But you're right, the smaller banks are doing it fast. So normally, I don't know anybody here at Dundee Bank, but I know they are doing really, really quick.
All right, guys, any other questions? Any at all? Well, so I think that this is a good stopping point. If anybody thinks of anything, I'm going to share your contact info, Danielle. I cannot say thank you enough. Like, you really did answer 2 very, very important questions that like will affect me personally. I know it's going to help a lot of people to understand that. And also, it's nice to know that now we have your contact information for the future. If anything weird happens, we can call you and just ask questions. Yeah. Or like when tax time comes around and you've applied for all these loans and done unemployment, it's like, well, fuck, what am I supposed to do with all of this paperwork? you can help us with that. Like that is a huge thing for us. So I
Yeah,
really
do you
appreciate
have any
it.
questions about your stimulus? I mean, if you got the money back from the government, your 1,200 or your 2,400, whatever it is, let me know. We can work with that. Mhm.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna post your contact information. I'll do one more call for any questions for him and all.
Yeah, and put that too, that we have, again, easy financing up to $5,000 for micro businesses, and we don't go off the credit histories if that's a concern from some of them. So there are other options that we use.
Totally. I am definitely going to push that again in the forum. Also, if you lovely ladies would so kindly make a post in the forum and say that Danielle was really helpful and talk about his nonprofit is Lending Link. He's here to answer questions. I think that a lot of people could really benefit from even picking up the phone and just touching base with you.
Sure.
And also, Abby, thank you so much. You're an angel. Cool. Well, I'm gonna call it then, y'all. I think it's done for now. Abby, if you want to send me the recording, that would be dope. Danielle, again, I think that you are so cool, and I really appreciate your help. I am actually going to call you, and yeah, you said yesterday that you needed a haircut, so I'll give you my business information too. Look at that. Look at that. It was so nice to meet you. Oh yeah, my wife Alex. Hi Daniel.
Hi Alex.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So you're in the same business, doing the same thing, or no?
No, I am at Sherwood. You probably don't recognize me over video.
No.
I work for Aaron. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
Good to see you.
This is your hair.
Yeah, I got a haircut.
I did it.
Yeah,
I did it.
Okay, it looks good.
It's hard to recognize
answer.
people on video.
Good response. I'm still recording, Daniel.
All right. Well, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Please call.
Thank you again so much, you guys. Abby, do you have anything you want to add about like Heartland Worker Center or anything like that?
I think it's just, I mean, I think we're all learning a lot of things that are out there. So even how we can help support you guys in the future once we get through these loans and the financial stuff. So even talking to Jordan about more information about workers' rights, especially for those who are employees for others, not like Sarah, who's an employee and an employer, which is cool. But trying to get more information out there just so that people feel more protected and safer at work would probably be.
Don't you worry, girl. I'm on it.
Right. Cool.
All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to head off, and you probably will too. Have a great evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Dilbos?